Well, hi, a very warm welcome to Dusty Shelf. I hope I find you well, and as you've seen from the thumbnail, I'm going to be reviewing a Scalextric set today. So I'm going to start the review with the packaging that it came in. So this is how it's been delivered, sealed at both ends. All I've done is take my address label off, and yeah, as is the case with a lot of Hornby deliveries at the moment, really, for the price of this set, it should be, well, it should have an outside packaging box, I think, rather than just being in the carton, as you see. So I'm going to open it up, and I'm hoping that it's not damaged. So the set itself is the Ken Miles set, and retailing for about £160. Now, inside the box, it's covered in tissue paper, and yeah, there's no further packaging. No bubble wrap around it, just the tissue paper. So it is quite a worry for such an expensive set, where the box is very important because it is a limited edition set. But yeah, just looking around it, I'm pleased to see there is no damage. It does worry me that you know, Scalextric and Hornby keep doing this. They're posting these boxes without any proper protection on them, and yeah, especially sets like this, very expensive sets, you know, the corners are very important that they're kept nice. They must get so many back damaged. But anyway, this has arrived in one piece, and yeah, no issues at all. So this is the Ken Miles triple pack. As I say, retails about 160. With the offer that Hornby was doing over, or Scalextrics were doing over Easter, 15% off. So I took 15% off the 160, brought it down to about 130. And then I had some hobby points to use, so I didn't actually pay the full price for this. Limited edition set. Limited to 1,500, so not particularly exclusive, but still fairly limited. And in here we've got the GT40, the Mustang, and the Cobra. I'm just going to go around the box very quickly so you can see it's part of the Legend series. On the top, just Scalextrics. On the side, just again the 1500 and Scalextrics just mentioned there. Nothing around the side there, and then on the back, just the warnings that, you know, not suitable for under 14s and contain small pieces. And then you can see at the top here, we've got the Ford official license product and the Ford hologram, along with the Hornby hobbies. The model is C4619A, the Ken Miles triple pack. So, been quite looking forward to having a look in here. So let's open it up and see what we've got. I don't do a lot of Scalextric models reviews on the channel, but this one really caught my eye. Lovely set. I don't think any of these are new mouldings, but it's just the first time that the cars, or the 98 cars, have been brought together in a set. Just looking at the plaque here, I've got number 967, so yeah, quite late in the numbers, which does make me wonder, are these sold in sequential orders? So if I'm 967, there's not that many of these left for sale. At the top of the box, we've got this very nice picture of the three cars, nicely presented at an angle, but the cars themselves are presented diagonally. We'll go around the cars in detail in a moment, but let me just read a couple of bits from the lid here. So it says, Ken Miles is a name synonymous with motorsport excellence and innovation. A British-born racing driver and engineer, Miles made an indelible mark on the world of motor racing, particularly in the United States. His keen mechanical mind and fearless driving style earned him a reputation as one of the finest drivers of the era. Though his career was tragically cut short, Miles' contribution to motorsport, particularly his role in developing some of the most iconic race cars, continue to be celebrated. Miles' career highlighted his instrumental role in Ford's historic Le Mans program and his close partnership with Carroll Shelby. Together they helped transform Ford's racing ambitions into reality, culminating in the legendary 1-2-3 finish of the 1966 24 Hours of Le Mans. Miles' legacy is not just one of race wins, but also of engineering excellence, pushing the limits of what is possible in motorsport during his time. And I will read the little bits of information that you can see here about the three cars as we look at them in detail. Right, let's lift the packaging out, and I'm going to do this very, very carefully because I don't want to damage the box. So underneath we have some spare brushes. So there's a set of 4 spare brushes, and yeah, they do look superb together, the 3 cars. I can't decide which one's my favourite. It's either the Cobra or the GT40. But let's get them off of the base and let's have a look at them in detail. So the 3 are held on to the base with the little screws. And just before I move the box to one side, you can see here the little plastic card in there with the Legends Ken Miles triple pack and limited edition 967 mine. Let's take each car in turn and let's have a look around and see what we can see. Now, I've mentioned before on the channel that Scalextrics, I feel, are sort of their own worst enemy in the fact that we as customers are demanding more and more detail on the models, which makes the models more expensive. And then as the models get more expensive, there's kind of a point at which you don't want to run them. Basically, if you ran a model of this quality and raced it, the chances of causing some damage are quite high, I would suggest. So once the models get to a certain price point, you end up just taking them for parade laps, which kind of defeats the object of Scalextrics, which is raceable models. But yeah, so I love collecting them. I don't have a Scalextrics track set up anymore, so unfortunately this review I'm not going to be running them. But let's have a look round at the detail anyway. So starting on the rear quarter here, got this lovely profile moulded in. The tyres look absolutely superb with their treaded pattern, and yeah, love the spokes in the middle of the wheel there, and yeah, the blue wall tyre. Direct drive motor on this one. So the motor is transversely mounted with a pinion gear straight onto the spur gear on the rear axle. Feels a little bit clunky. I will put some power through the cars and just see how they run. But as I say, I won't be putting them on the track. The printing is extremely well done. Yeah, it's very, very clean. There's a little mark on the front there, but your eye doesn't really go to it. But we've got the number 98 with the red either side, and the little door handle also picked out. And then on the window there, the rivets around the periphery and the little air or opening to get air inside the cockpit. Very nicely modelled into the plastic. Front wheels slightly narrower than the rear wheels, again with that lovely spoke design and the blue rims. And there's a little bit of panel distortion at the front here, where the body has got a little bit of, I don't know if the camera's picking that out, but you can see the body's not quite fitting properly at the front there, and that's the same on both sides, but that's been very, very picky. On the front corner, the lower lights here, again surrounded with a frame and the rivets all the way around, or the screws all the way around, and the front grille. Can't help but think that maybe you know, some texturing on the little plastic bit in there wouldn't have gone amiss. But yeah, you don't really look down there, to be fair. And you can see the hooks on the front here where the bumper would fit. Round at the front of the car, oh, that's not too good. Yeah, I'm not overly happy with that. The painting is really rough on the front of the car. Yeah, that's a real shame. That's a little bit inexcusable. There's sort of roughness where it's come out of the tool, and then the paint hasn't gone around the front. So yeah, not overly happy with that bit there for the price of the cars. And it is obvious from multiple angles. You can see it from the top, there's a little notch out. Yeah, that red paint is not very good. The windscreen, again with its rubber surround all the way around, you've got a separately fitted wiper. The black printing is very nicely done with sort of a satin in the middle and then a gloss periphery, and we've got a little fuel cap to the side, and the other side again the same problems, with a little bit of problems with the panel fit down the side there, but generally a very nice model. Round at the back we've got the rear window, again with the rivets. These are moulded on, so you can feel the rivets on the rear window and see through to the airbox on top of the engine. More rivets on the top of the moulding as well, and then at the back here. I love this with the lights, the grills, the exhaust, and the underframe around the transaxle at the back here, and the little gurney flap at the back. Very, very nicely done at the rear of the car. Just a shame about the front there. And the other thing to mention is the interior. We've got lots of detail on the dash. That looks very good indeed. All picked out in black, nothing actually separately printed in there. But the driver, and we'll come to the driver, particularly in the Cobra, but it looks like the head is a little bit too big for the body. Yeah, it's sort of an oversized head on the body there, which is a little bit, your eye does go to it. And but nicely painted. The seatbelt's all picked out with the the silver buckles on there, and the hands are on the steering wheel, which is good. The seats are well represented, or the seat is well represented on the driver's side, and as I say, lots of detailing on the dash. And yeah, it'd be nice to have seen some features picked out on the face. Got the crash helmet painted in there, but yeah, no features on the face at all. So yeah, the GT40, very nice indeed, except for this bit on the front here. Yeah, not particularly happy with the paint on there. And as I say, the driver, yeah, is a little bit looks a little bit odd in there, but the car is rather nice. And yeah, wonderful classic shape of the GT40. Well, I've just hooked up some power. So just looking through the lights, the rear lights, there's no wiring to the rear lights, so no tail lights at all. And the front lamps, just inside the lenses, all I can see is a circuit board, and with a small LED on there. Now, I understand why they're putting LEDs in, and I'm a big fan of putting those in because they're much brighter lights, and they don't fail so often. But really, the holes should have been closed down, so it's just the LEDs showing. Putting the power onto the motor. Now, if I've got it running in reverse, obviously the LEDs won't light. Turn it round so that we've got power with it driving in a forward direction, and we get a nice bright light from the front, and the light bleeds through into the lower lamps as well, which is quite good. A little bit of bleed through round on the body, and we've got quite a noisy motor actually. But as I say, no tail lamps. And the box says about the GT40, this is the Mark II 1966 GT40, perhaps the most famous car in Ken Miles' career. The Ford GT40 Mark II was a game changer in endurance racing. In 1966, Miles, alongside co-driver Denny Hulme, drove the GT40 to an unforgettable 1-2-3 finish at Le Mans, solidifying Ford's supremacy over Ferrari. The sleek lines, powerful engine and advanced aerodynamics of the GT40 made it a revolutionary car in the world of endurance racing. This Scalextric model captures every detail of the car that helped define an era. The GT40 Mark II, with its iconic livery, is a fitting tribute to Miles' role in one of motorsport's most celebrated victories. We're moving on to the GT350 with a little Mustang emblem on the grille. Work our way round again. I mean, basically, the printing on this is absolutely perfect. The body is, well, I think it's actually probably better than the GT40, but it is moulded in one part, whereas the GT40 does have a joint line down the middle, where it's and across the back, so it's moulded in, looks like 3 parts, the GT40. I love the way the rear screen has got this sort of dip that dips underneath the roof, obviously for aerodynamics. We've got silver surround around the rear screen. The wheels, got slicks on this car. Again, direct drive to a spur gear on the rear with a transversely mounted motor. I did mention on the other one as well, obviously you've got the sockets on the base here, so if you want to switch these to digital, undo the screw, put your chip in, do the screw back up, so nice and simple. Again, the printing, really well done, absolutely perfect printing with the 98 and BP on the side there. Got the air scoops fitted to the side of the body, the door handles are picked out, got this little emblem on the front wing, and GT350 down at the bottom there. Again on the front, the windscreen with its silver surround, and the small little air scoops either side. Now the wipers on this one are actually moulded in, they're not separately fitted, and we've got moulded in air scoop on the hood or the bonnet at the front there. Round on to the front grille here. The grills on this one are actually modelled, so you've got the texture of the grille, unlike the GT40 which is just flat plastic inside. This one actually has the texture modelled on there, and the headlights you can see taped as they would have been back in the day with the cross taping on the lens. I've already mentioned the Mustang badge in the middle there. We've got this lovely blue stripe running all the way over the car with the white in the middle. Looks fantastic, or cream in the middle I should say. And running down right to the bottom of the grille. No problems at all with the paintwork. I mean, there's a little bit of a blemish, but it's right underneath the car, so you can't see it at all. We've got the indicators picked out in orange, and there's a couple of panels of plates that are screwed on with the 4 screws, also picked out in the paint there. So yeah, lovely detail on the front of the car. Same on the other side, looks pretty good. I'm just going to point out the underneath, just going to point out the chassis. Obviously when you look at it from the side, you got this black piece showing underneath, where the chassis on the Scalextric car is a lot lower than the real thing, but your eye doesn't go to that. I mean, the fact that it's blacked out, it's not intrusive at all. Round onto the rear quarter, all looking pretty good, and I love the brake discs through the wheels. I've just spotted those. You can see the brake discs through those. I don't think the GT40, oh no, it did have brake discs on there, but these brake discs on here, you can see the slots on them. And you can also see the 5-spoke spin nut right in the centre there to hold the wheel on. And then on the back of the car, we've got the bank of the 3 lights with the silver surrounds on there, and again the blue running all the way around and down underneath the car. So yeah, not really much more to say about that. Very nice model, but all moulded in one plastic. The door handles are moulded, they're not fitted. We do have one wing mirror fitted on here, just to the side. No wing mirrors on the GT40, but just a single wing mirror to one side on this car. Then as before, let me just apply the power. In reverse, no lights. And then turn it around the other way. Really smooth motor on this one, and you can see the lights lighting up at the front there, but also, let me just turn the car round, tail lights as well. Very little bleed through. Does look superb. Yeah, they've made a nice job of the lights on that one. And then it says that inside the box, the Flying Shelby GT350 of 1965. One of Ken Miles' most memorable drives was the 1965 Shelby 350, often referred to as a Flying Mustang. Known for its distinctive white and blue livery, the car was a beast on track, combining raw power with exceptional handling. Miles' skill behind the wheel and his ability to extract maximum performance made him virtually unstoppable in this machine. The GT350 became a symbol of American muscle car dominance, and Miles' mastery of the car helped cement its legendary status. This Scalextric model captures the essence of the Flying Mustang, offering enthusiasts the chance to relive one of the most exciting chapters in motorsport history. And just to mention the interior of the Mustang, I didn't actually mention the side window glass with its silver surround and its little quarter glass in the corner there. Nicely modelled. Now the interior, it's not as detailed as the GT40. The dash is a little bit sparse in detail, and again nothing painted inside apart from the driver. But the dash very visible through the screen, and it's good to see the driver's hands are on the wheel. The driver's head again in this does look a little bit oversized, but the belts have all been nicely painted, and the buckles all picked out in silver, and again with the synonymous light blue overalls that Ken Miles would have worn. And there's also the roll cage modelled and shown through the back window. So yeah, nice little bit of detail in there, just enough to you know, to make it look as though that there's been some detailing inside, but yeah, not overly detailed. And then the last of the three cars, which is the Cobra, and again one-piece moulding for the body, and you know, there's classic lines of this beautiful car, one of my favourite cars of all time. But this particular one, my eye goes straight to the head of the driver, which just seems to be a little bit oversized for the body. I mean, that's a running theme through the three models. They've all got the same driver in here. This one just has the legs chopped off to fit around the steering wheel. Yeah, it's a shame. It's a real shame. This is just looks as though it's just a fraction oversized. Probably isn't. It's just the way that it looks, and yeah, my eye just goes straight to it. Yeah, certainly. Maybe it's the crash helmet that's bigger than it needs to be, or maybe that's actually to scale. Just looks very odd. And the other thing about the driver, as I just mentioned, the legs have been cut away, obviously, because there's not enough room underneath the steering wheel to fit the legs under. But the hands are still on the steering wheel, and again, the seatbelt is all picked out with the buckles in silver. Lovely wooden steering wheel on there as well, and yeah, the silver centre boss. We've also got more detailing inside in that there is the gear shift and the handbrake that are picked out in silver, and a fire extinguisher that's been painted in red and silver, and the seats, lovely seats on here that have got all the texture on. But then we come to the dash, and there's no detailing on the dash at all. And really, all that would have taken is a small sticker on there or a little bit of printing, and that would have finished the interior off lovely. And it's just not gone that far enough for an open cockpit. You know, there needs to be a little bit more detail in there for the quality of the model. Anyway, working our way around the tyres on here. So we've got the third set of different tyres. So this one with the slicks, this one with quite a grooved pattern on them, and then this one with a sort of semi-slick. The drivetrain for this one is a longitudinal motor rather than the transverse, and you can see the gear on the back there, which would transfer the drive through 90 degrees. So slightly different drivetrain on this particular car. The wheels are fairly plain, but I do love the spinner in the middle here, this tri-spinner to hold the wheels on. You've got those on each of the wheels. They do look great, and they look good against the grey rims. The body itself, no separately fitted parts on here. So the moulded in shut line for the door, moulded in grills. Do have separately fitted wipers and obviously separately fitted glass, and the glass has been painted around in silver. Got a separately fitted roll cage, separately fitted fuel filler. Round to the front of the car, the bumpers are quite nicely done. We've got sort of a silver bumper rail, chassis rail, poking out through the body, and then these little black finishes on the end here that you know, would hold the bumper in, but with the bumpers being taken off for obviously for weight of the vehicle, just with the outriggers left on there, and that's the same on the rear. They've got exactly the same, so that's rather nice. Got a Goodyear sticker on the side, all beautifully printed. The printing is really crisp, and on the 98 here, I can't actually read the little emblem at the bottom here, but yeah, there's a little logo on the 98 badge. Got the air scoop on the bonnet here, and then right round in the front here, we've got a mesh grille inside the opening to the hood. Looks fantastic. That's really nicely done. Very, very fine detail there on the moulding. Indicators picked out in silver, and we do have working headlights, and I love the little chrome surround on the headlights. This one on this side, a little bit messy with the painting, but yeah, see the painting all glue in both of them actually, but your eye doesn't go to that. I'm being very, very picky with that. And then round on the other side, well, very much the same. So let's go round to the back of the car, outriggers for the bumper, and on the back of the car they've actually got the little silver ends poking through, which is quite a nice touch. And do like the rear lights. We've got sort of the rear lights in dark red, silver surround, and then sort of a black surround around the silver, and then the Shelby badge right on the rear here, and yeah, a little bit of printing just around the boot lid. The boot shut lines are all moulded in. So quite a nice little car, and could have been really special just with a little bit more detailing inside the cabin there, with it being an open cockpit. Well, let's just pop the power on again. So in reverse, you can see no lights. Round into the forward direction. Got headlights on the rear. Drivetrain sounds. Headlights on the front there, you can see them lighting up, and the drivetrain was making quite a noise actually. Yeah, maybe that's because it's not on the track, but there's a lot of vibration in that rear drivetrain. I may pop the body of this after the video and just check that, because that does, it feels like there's an awful lot of vibration through the drivetrain. And then the rear lights, they're just lighting up. I think I'm just going to pop the body off of this and make sure it's see why it's making such a noise, because yeah, that's making yeah, a lot of vibration. I'm a little bit worried that I might be doing some damage. Well, I've popped the lid off, and quite an interesting drive system here. So we've got this well, spring here acting as a kind of universal joint with the motor front mounted, which is rather nice. But the drive system, this bearing wasn't pushed home, and the rear lights weren't in their holders at the rear here, so that's why the lights weren't really shining on the back of the car. And yeah, a lot of the vibration coming from the, you know, this bearing just being slightly misaligned. So I've popped that back in, and it's definitely running a little bit smoother. I'll just put the power on while I've got the body off, and then we'll pop the body back on. You can see how bright the rear lights are, but that wasn't shining through the body. If I leave this running, you can see it's a little bit lumpy still at low speed, but as I say, I'm guessing that's probably just from it needs a good run in. Right, let me pop the body back on this one, and let's check those rear lights again. In fact, I'm going to do that on camera, so the body just slides over like so. I didn't mention the exhaust underneath, separately fitted exhaust. Let's have a look at those rear lights again. That's better. Very evident now. They were very dim before because obviously they weren't lined up. But yeah, looking pretty good. But yeah, still a lot of vibration there. Anyway, right. Let's just talk about the Cobra from the information on the box. Well, it's a 1963 Shelby Cobra, and it says, the Shelby Cobra, a car that needs no introduction, was another key chapter in Ken Miles' career. In 1963, Miles piloted the Cobra with a combination of aggression and precision that made it a formidable competitor. Known for its lightweight design and powerful V8 engine, the Cobra was a giant killer on the track, capable of outperforming much larger and more powerful cars. Miles' engineering expertise played a crucial role in refining the Cobra's performance, making it a race-winning machine. This Scalextric model beautifully replicates the sleek lines and iconic livery of the 1963 Cobra, a must-have for any fan of classic motorsport. Well, let's sum up the set. So I love the packaging. I love the way that these are displayed in the box. And yeah, I've collected these Scalextric sets for many years. I don't buy many of them now, purely because they have become so expensive. And I'm going to reiterate, the retail price on this is the best part of £160. Now, there's a few things in here that I'm not overly happy with, so we'll deal with those first. First of all, the front of this car, that's the paint on here is absolutely dreadful around the front of the car, and I can't help but feel it may be missing the grille on the front here, because there's just no detailing at all on the base. Yeah, so that's kind of let that down. The second thing is the drivers. All of the drivers, they just feel slightly oversized. The head feels oversized for the body, and I can't help but feel there should have been some facial features on the characters as well. And then finally the Cobra with the open cockpit, you know, just a sticker or a little bit of a transfer on the dash there would have made all the difference and made this an extra special model. So don't get me wrong, beautiful set, and very pleased to have it in the collection. And it's lovely to see that you know, a set celebrating Ken Miles being released by Scalextric. But yeah, certainly little bits like that not really excusable in this day and age. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up, and why not check out the channel, lots on there, and if you can subscribe, I'd be very, very grateful. And with that, we'll leave this one there. I'll just say thanks ever so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.